Hey y'all, I'm back. If you know me pretty well, you know that I'm really OCD, and I also like candles. The thing is I don't like to just throw the candle jars away. So I wanted to show you all some of the things that I do to keep my house a little bit more organized. I really like the Yankee Candle jars, just because I like the thickness of the glass, and with the method that I use to clean out the jars, I feel like these are a little bit better because they're thicker. I do have some that are not that brand, but I prefer these. I pretty much almost always stick to these exclusively because of the size and the convenience and all that, and I like the seal as well that these create. I have 2 or 3 candles that are done. This one's different because I used a candle warmer. So in a minute, I'm going to put all of the empty ones that I have upside down like this, and then we're going to stick them in the oven for at 170 degrees or whatever your lowest setting is on your stove, and then we're going to put them in there for about 10 minutes, and it will help all of the wax run down, and you'll notice that this is covered with tin foil. That way you don't mess up your pan or anything like that. You don't have to worry about cleaning it out. You just take the foil off and there you go. But in talking about that, I also want to mention that if you don't want the labels and things like that, when you're done, you want just a completely clean candle holder, you can use something like Goo Gone, which is really good. Especially if it's a paper label. With the plastic labels, like what's on Yankee Candle, you don't necessarily have to use Goo Gone. It's just helpful sometimes. And you can use something like a scraper, like what you would use for your stovetop. So, anyway, so I'm going to get these 3 ready to put into the oven. And then I'm going to talk about some of the things that you can do with them once they are cleaned out. So, we're ready to put these in. I went ahead and preheated the oven. I'm going to be really careful putting it in or taking it out. So, all right. Again, be really careful pulling it out of the oven and putting it in and all of that. So, I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. Let the oven do the rest. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some of the things that I use these for, because they are so handy for so many different things. So for starters, I'll show you some of the smaller ones that I have. I use them for sewing supplies, so I've got safety pins in this one, and then this isn't a Yankee Candle brand, it's a different one. So I have buttons, so if you get extra buttons on your clothes or anything like that, it gives you a place to store them in one place. And it keeps everything really organized, which I like. So that's the first thing. And keep in mind, they start out with like a candle like this. So once you burn it out, it's dual purpose. I love it. But the next thing that I use it for is really just displaying. Because again, I love candles and things like that. I have a whole lot of tea lights, and sometimes the boxes or the containers that they come in start to tear apart and break and things like that. And so I like this because you can see them. You can see I have a couple of different colors in this particular one. You can just visually see what's stored in it. So that's another reason I like those. And then I also do the same thing for wallflowers from Bath & Body Works. So I'm not just a Yankee Candle girl. I like my Bath & Body Works wallflowers too. But usually when they ship wallflowers to you, they come in these plastic trays, and so I pull them out just because they fall over and things like that. And so again, you can see how many you have of each kind and all of that. It just helps you stay organized. The next thing is just candy. They kind of make cool little candy jars if you want things to last a little longer and don't want them to go stale as fast. And it just makes it easy to grab them and go. So there's that. And then I use them a lot in my bathrooms in my home. So I've got Q-tips, and I've got makeup remover pads, And I mean, you can use it for lipstick or lip glosses or single eyeshadows, or even, you know, take the lid off and use them for your brushes, kind of whatever you think you need them for. And then the last two things are art supplies and office supplies. So I've got pens and Sharpies and scissors in one, and then I've got just little wooden letters in this one. So anyway, you can see there's a lot of different things you can do with them. It helps you stay organized. It helps give you a visual to see what all you have and how much you have of something. So I use them a lot, and to me it's better than just throwing them away and them going to waste. So this is a really good way to upcycle some of the things. And you could even decorate them if you want. You could, you know, do glitter, or, you know, just spray paint, or whatever you want to maybe decorate them a little bit. I just like them plain personally, but you can do whatever you prefer. We've got about 7 more minutes, so I'm going to stop right now and then show you all what happens when we're done. So it's been actually about 10 to 15 minutes, so 10 minutes might not be enough depending on how much wax is still left in the bottom of your candle. I did more like 15. And I'm actually going to have my husband Wes show you this part, just because we are dealing with the larger candles instead of the smaller ones. They're a little bit harder for me to get a good grip on with the glove and all of that. So I'm going to have him come over here and show you the rest of what you need to do. So I'm going to get out of the way though.
Okay, hi. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reach in here, and we're going to leave this on so the other ones can stay warm. And I'm just going to pull one of these out. This. Take it over here, knock everything in the sink. So I'm holding it gingerly, and I'm just wipe it out as best I can with some paper towels, putting in all the wax that's off the bottom and off the sides out best I can while it's still warm. And it is hot, so you do want to use the elbow glove. It's not painfully hot, which is why you want to do it at a lower temperature of the oven than a higher one, so you don't burn yourself.
And you don't want to risk the glass potentially breaking too, which again is why I like the Yankee candles, because they're just better.
So I jammed the paper towels down in there, and I'm using my scraper to wipe it really good. Wipe the whole bottom out, the sides out. Wipe it out really good. And then, so you get all of this out of there. Throw that away. The little metal thing that the wick's attached to comes out. And then just gonna rinse this out. Looks pretty good. And then to get the label off, what I'm gonna do is take the Goo Gone and spray it on the label around the edges. Spray pretty good. And then take the scraper and just try to get under one of the corners of the label. Keeping in mind this glass is slippery. And then once you get it started, the Yankee candles are nice because of the plastic labels. And the whole thing will just come right off.
Yeah, and the Goo Gone, again, it's good for the bottom label too, because it's paper, so it works for both, which is why I like to use it.
Get that label off, just like that. And then, rinse it off. Rinse it off, dry it off. If there's any residual glue on it, which sometimes there is, you can just use sometimes I'll just use a green scratchy pad and just scratch it off. But this one came off pretty clean. Keep wiping it out with paper towels, soap and water if you need to. Whatever you have to do to get all the soot and the wax out. Just a little bit more, not too bad.
Well, and if you're using Goo Gone on it, you're going to want to rinse it anyway, especially if you're going to put like snacks or something in it. You don't want that on there. So that's why it's good to get it good and clean. And I mean, the Goo Gone is just kind of oily anyway, so it might take some work to get it clean, but they definitely are good and clean when we're done. So
that's most of the wax. It still needs to be soap and water wash to get the Goo Gone off. But it's mostly out of there. Now to get this bottom label off, kind of the same thing, just Goo Gone. And scraper. Residual glue and stuck pieces off. And then once I have that off, then I just give it a soap and water wash inside and out real good.
Okay, so since you got all the labels off and everything for me, I'm going to finish rinsing it out and show you how good and clean it looks. So, one more rinse on it just to be sure there's any wax left and to get the Goo Gone off of it and stuff like that. Yeah, you want to make sure this is all good and dried out. You can lay them on a towel or you can just leave them open. They'll dry overnight or whatever, just like any other dish. You just want to make sure there's no moisture in it before you use it and put the lids back on it because they have a pretty tight seal, again, which is what I like about them. Once it's all said and done, and you can see it's good and clean. There's a little bit of the label still on the bottom of this one just because it needs a little bit more work. But other than that, it's super clean on the inside. And you can use this for holidays, so like peppermints or candy corn or, you know, whatever for the holiday at the time too. So they're good for when your guests come. Anyway, again, a whole lot of different uses for them. I just wanted to show you what I use them for regularly. And hopefully this helps. If you have any other creative ideas on how to use these, let me know. I have heard that you can actually take the rubber part out of the lid and use it for like a tea light candle holder as well if you have wax. So you can always try that too if you want. I haven't tried it, but I've heard it works. So hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other ideas. Let me know if you have any other suggestions for videos. In the description, I'll put things like the UGG glove and the Goo Gone and maybe the scratcher too if I can find a good one online for you. But anyway, those items will be in the description below the video. And if you like videos like this, let me know. And if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thanks you guys, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.